The Assassin. One of the most popular builds in every RPG game, and Skyrim is not an exception. Stealthy, tricky, deadly. But pure assassin build in Skyrim has some disadvantages. First of all, playing with vanilla perk system making you simply one-shot everything around you one by one, while other enemies are hanging around with your arrows in the knees, repeating something like, "I guess it was just my imagination." Pure assassin build in Skyrim can be boring. On the other side, if you have failed to kill the most of your enemies really fast, in close combat, 1 versus all, assassin can have a lot of troubles, as he is pretty weak in defenses and can be even easily one-shotted if you are playing on legendary difficulty or with some enemy and combat mods. So what now, you may ask? Welcome the Wind of Vengeance hybrid build. He is a combination of assassin and berserker on steroids. Sneaky but strong and fast as wind, deadly as a whirlwind of blades. And welcome to the best Skyrim build series, a next-gen series of Skyrim character build that is focused on making your gameplay fun, variety, and 200% rewarding. Another key feature of this series is that each build is based only on few mods that are presented for original Skyrim, Special Edition and Xbox One. So, whatever version of game you play on PC or playing on Xbox, these builds are the same and working everywhere. There is only one required mod to play with these builds, a brilliant Ordinator Perks of Skyrim Overhaul mod. It is the most variety and fun, roleplay friendly, lightweight, light scripted and compatible with almost everything, all this at the same time. While there is only one required mod, I also kindly recommend to use a few more mods to add new amazing spells, improve your racial abilities, standing stone abilities, and add some immersive and lore-friendly but powerful weapons. These mods are Apocalypse Magic of Skyrim, Imperious Races of Skyrim, Aurora Standing Stones of Skyrim, and the Royal Armory. While these mods are optional to use, I strongly recommend to use them all too, as they are absolutely awesome, lightweight, safe, and with all of them combined, your character build will be simply perfect. So, let's go! Full build is calculated for 80 perk points, but it is absolutely playable and strong on each stage of the game. In first part of video I will describe the philosophy of the build, all the perks and spells needed, recommended race, standing stone abilities and items. In the second part there will be a gameplay demonstration. And at the last third part I will describe how to invest perk points from the beginning till the end. There are 4 core perk trees for Wind of Vengeance: Sneak, Light Armor, Alchemy and One-Handed. The main weapon of your character is Speed. And when I'm saying speed, I mean your character will be not just fast, he will be fast like a wind. Just take a look at comparison. Here is usual running speed. And here is Wind of Vengeance running speed. Take into account that it is his base speed, as due to some conditions it can be even more faster in combat. As you can see, it is almost 2 times faster, and this is not a limit. Your speed will give you measured advantage in battle, to kill fast, break the distance, heal or take potions needed, choose the next target and make another deadly strike. Just the running speed itself, not counting the perks, can be so fast that some arrows and spells can simply miss you because you were too fast for them. If you will use all recommended mods, which is not hard as they are really easy to install and lightweight, the best race for this build is Khajiit. Khajiits with the Imperious mod have unique active abilities. For example, Ultimate Racial is an ability to see by the eyes of any humanoid around you. This is a great tactical boost as well as great roleplay addition. But the key ability is the passive. Khajiits have permanent boost to movement speed and sprint even much more faster at the cost of more stamina. Your main attributes are stamina and health. Magicka can be really low, as your spells arsenal will be not mana hungry. For example, for 10 level ups, invest 1 attribute point in Magicka, 3 or 4 points in stamina, and 6 or 5 points in health. This will make you pretty good resilient and still with very good stamina pool, as it is the key to your power. But don't spend too much points in stamina, as the build itself together, combined with recommended weapons, will provide you good stamina replenishment. Talking about the standing stones, the best choice here is Shadowstone. With Aurora mod, it gives you passive additional 10% boost to movement speed and active ability to instantly teleport behind your target at short distances. Now let's go to the main part, the perks, starting from Sneak. First perk is pretty much the same as vanilla game. I also strongly recommend to use Ordinator optional file that rebalances and improves sneak mechanics, making it more realistic. Then comes Sneak Attack perk. While this perk itself looks not so strong as vanilla Sneak Attack multiplier, in the end of this branch it will also deal enormous damage, just the damage growth is more smooth. Assassin's Blade. Sneak Attack deal 1% more damage per level of Sneak, up to 100% bonus damage. Here is where your sneak damage is starting to grow. Backstab. You deal 50% more damage with daggers when striking a target from behind. If the target is a full health, this is a critical strike that deal 8 times critical damage. This is one of the key perks in your sneak mastery. Please note that it is working not only when you are sneaking. If you will just be fast enough, you can hide this bonus damage even in open combat. And also the 8 times damage multiplier will make you change your targets, killing enemies one by one. Sneak Attack deal 10% more damage for each 200 points of health the target has, up to 50% more damage. This perk is a great help to kill massive enemies and mini-bosses like bandit chiefs, giants and so on. The higher health target is, the more damage your Sneak Attack will do. Cloak and Dagger. Breaking invisibility with a power attack is a guaranteed critical strike that deals 50% more critical damage. Another damage-oriented perk. It is working only when you are attacking from invisibility. But in our build there are 2 different ways to go invisible, so this perk is really useful. Laughing Ghost. At will while sneaking, teleport through the shadows behind the target to attempt a sneak power attack with your right weapon that deals double sneak attack damage. The target must be out of combat. Laughing Ghost is one of the most spectacular and fun perks in Ordinator. You can teleport and hit literally any enemy you're able to see at any distance. The only condition is enemy must be out of combat. It is damage that is doubling your overall sneak damage, making it almost 100% kill of any enemy. And you also be able to use it more than once per combat, because you will have other ability to break the combat state for a moment. Infiltrator. I suppose everything looks familiar here. Right behind you is a pretty needed perk that improves your sneaking skill when you're closer to enemy, to compensate greater chance to be spotted because of movement, sound and lights. Disengage. Grants disengage power. Once a day, all enemies within 100 feet who are attacking you or searching you instantly stop and resume their normal activities. It is a lifesaver perk that can change outcome of the battle in critical moments. Also, after using it, you can go invis and use Laughing Ghost once again. Clean Escape is another must-have perk for any stealthy character. It decreases the time needed for enemies to stop searching you. Smoke Curtain is a power that you can use once per day. It creates a massive smoke cloud. Inside this cloud, enemies are not seeing you at all if you're sneaking, and even more, your sneak attacks deal 50% more damage to them. This power, placed precisely, can let you kill multiple enemies in a few seconds, or give you time to fully restore your attributes. Party Starter is really fun. When you gain invisibility, and there are several ways to get it in this build, you automatically place explosive barrel behind you that explodes when invisibility is broken. In addition to really good damage that scales with your sneak skill, this ability, used wisely, can successfully kill or heavily damage multiple enemies, as the explosion itself has area of effect damage. Silent Roll perk is pretty much similar to vanilla, but straight after it comes really interesting perks. Dynamic Entry. Performing a silent roll increases your weapon damage by 40% and unarmed damage by 40 points for 3 seconds. The dodge roll is your best friend if you want to survive. Performing a silent roll, the previous perk, makes you ethereal for 1 second, causing all incoming attacks and spells to miss. Behind enemy lines is a great perk for situations when there are really a lot of enemies in location, and you need to stay unspotted as long as possible. It gives you bonus to sneak skill for each enemy that is not detecting you. So, actually, the more enemies are nearby, the more bonus you will have. Shadow Warrior. Another top tier sneak perk that allows you to become invisible when you're starting to sneak, even in combat. But, for keeping it balanced, this effect has 8 seconds cooldown. Great, the sneak tree is finished. And here comes the light armor. It was completely overhauled. Now, armor trees is not just boring armor multipliers, it gives you a real roleplay feeling when you're choosing one of armor types. Now, basic armor perk gives you not only better armor value, but chosen type armor experience even when you're simply wearing it. This is pretty logical and should be in the game from the beginning. As a leaf, when sprinting in light armor, you cannot be staggered and take 50% less damage from power attacks. Light armor fit. It is pretty much similar to vanilla perk. Armor rating of light armor increased by 25% if wearing all light armor. Initiative. When you enter combat, if wearing all light armor, regenerate up to 20% of your maximum stamina per second. This bonus gradually diminishes over next 15 seconds. This perk is good supply passive. Remember such kind of situations when you, for example, started combat and made some unsuccessful power attacks and quickly ran out of stamina. Feel this no more. Lightning Strike. Your critical strikes deal 75 more critical damage for 10 seconds after entering combat while wearing all light armor. The Windrunner. Move 10% faster in combat if wearing all light armor. This is one of the perks why exactly I recommended Khajiit for this build. Evasive Leap. If wearing all light armor, jump in combat to cause all incoming attacks and spells to miss for 1 second, but this effect has a 5 seconds cooldown. Combined with Wind of Vengeance amazing speed and silent roll, and wisely used, this ability can make you dodge the most of attacks against you. Wild and Free. While sprinting in light armor, you take 50% less damage from all attacks. Combined with rich stamina pool and great stamina regeneration in this build, you will be able to sprint almost endlessly and take only 50% damage. Nice bonus, huh? Fight of Light. When you get struck by an unblocked attack or hostile spell in combat, an Adrenaline Rush regenerates 5% of your maximum stamina per second for 6 seconds if wearing all light armor. While being a great perk by itself, it gives you even more roleplay aspect. As light armor are usually berserkers, they are not blocking attacks, but dodging them, and became even more deadly with each new injure. This is exactly what light armor tree in Ordinator gives you. War Dancer. Your agility enables you to strike more effectively, granting 20% more attack damage and critical damage if wearing all light armor, but this effect is lost for 6 seconds whenever you get struck by an unblocked attack or hostile spell in combat. While previous perk gives you bonus for each received strike, this one is giving you bonuses for dodge attacks, forcing you to dodge often as light armored units should do, and receiving rewards for this. Survival Instinct. When you get struck by an unblocked attack or hostile spell in combat, you gain 10% movement speed for 6 seconds if wearing all light armor. The movement speed is never enough, right? Tempting Fate. You gain 20% movement speed if you are not blocking during an enemy's power attack. If the power attack misses, the effect lasts until combat ends or until you get struck by a power attack. This perk is absolutely great and gives you even more movement speed. To trigger it, just run into the enemy's power attack and dodge it by using Silent Roll or Evasive Leap. Light armor tree is finished, and let's go to Alchemy. Alchemy in Ordinator gives you a real feeling of being potions and poisons master, an experimenter that creates powerful drugs for himself and deadly poisons for his enemies. Physician. You may choose a type of beneficial potion, health, magicka or stamina. Potions you mix that restore or fortify the chosen attribute are 50% stronger. This perk is actually the key perk in most of Alchemy tree. Each few levels you will be able to choose more awesome perks which effects are based on beneficial potions. For Wind of Vengeance as combat class, I would strongly recommend to take Health Potion as beneficial one. Poisoner. Everything should be clear here. Your poison's damage is now scaling from your alchemy level. Bottomless Cup. Poisons applied to weapons last for 1 additional hit per 10 levels of alchemy. Remember how annoying was that poison left only 1 strike on your weapon. Forget about this and level up your alchemy. Alchemist. Your poisons are highly corrosive, enabling you to ignore 40% of the armor rating on affected target for their duration. Remember what I said about beneficial potions bonuses? Meet Stimulants. When you use a beneficial potion or ingredient, you regenerate 2% of your magicka and stamina per second for 30 seconds. So yes, you regenerate both magicka and stamina in overall amount of 60% of your maximum pool. Crimson Haze give you additional 10% movement speed bonus while under effect of stimulants. Witchmaster. When you use a beneficial potion or ingredient, you have 50% chance to receive a powerful side effect, randomly chosen from a range of 40 side effects. Amount of these side effects is really wide. You can get additional healing, attribute or damage bonus, movement speed bonus, or even some really unique effects like casting spells for free for a few seconds. Chemical Wedding. Witchmaster side effects have 50% chance to cause side effects on themselves. Does that mean? Yes. This means if you will always have enough potions to use in battle, you will be just a monstrous steroids machine with tons of additional bonuses and powers. Word Serpent is really strong and fun. When you shout, your blood turns poisonous for 15 seconds. The next time you get hit with a weapon, retaliate with a powerful poisonous strike that deals 50 points of poisonous damage per second for 10 seconds, so 500 poison damage in overall. And here goes the master perk, that which does not kill you. Upon learning this perk, you imbibe a deadly toxin, taking 150 damage per second. If you survive for 60 seconds, you receive 3 perk points and a permanent 25% bonus to all potions and poisons you make. This final talent is enormously strong and moreover, it gives you 3 perk points for free. But be really careful and be well prepared, as you will need to survive 9000 damage. Nice, we finally came to the last core perk tree, one-handed, when we will focus on daggers and dual-wielding masteries. The basic perk is pretty much same as vanilla, but with an addition. It also increases critical damage on 2% per level of one-handed, up to 200% in total. Ravage. Dual-wielding attacks are 35% faster. It is pretty much similar to vanilla dual-wielding attack speed perk. Man of War. While dual-wielding in combat, build up a battle rage, with each attack gaining 1% extra attack damage and 1% bonus attack speed for 20 seconds. This effect stacks. Unleash the Beast. While dual-wielding in combat, enter a murderous frenzy every 20 to 40 seconds. For 8 seconds, dual-wield power attacks deal 50% more damage and 100% more critical damage. Bite Marks is one of the main perks that compensate not very high daggers damage. With this perk and some more perks that based on it, your enemies will most likely die from bleeding even if you haven't killed them instantly and changed your target. Savage. Attacks with a dagger deal 50% more damage if you rapidly hit the same target 3 or more times, resets when 2 seconds pass between hits. This perk is also a great roleplay addition that shows how really Dagger Master works, biting their targets with dozens of savage, non-lethal but injuring strikes, making victim die if not from direct damage, but from injuries anyway. Twin Fang. Forward's power attacks with a dagger impale the target, dealing double bite marks damage whether or not attack is blocked, so yes, ignoring the blocking. Swaying Cobra. Sideways power attacks with dagger drain 150 points of magicka and stamina. This perk is a great way to restore your combat energy. Death Adder. Standing power attacks with a dagger completely ignore armor. Coiling Python. Hitting a target with any power attack with a dagger within 30 seconds paralyze the target for 20 seconds. Your attacks with dagger against the paralyzed targets are critical strikes that deal 9 times critical damage. Wandering Warrior. Whenever you defeat at least 4 humanoids and or animals in a single battle, you gain a permanent 1% bonus to one-handed damage. This effect stacks up to 20 max percent. This final perk is just almost free 20% bonus to one-handed damage, but implemented in a really immersive way. To become a true weapon master, you need to win in some really hard battles. Furious Strength. Power attack damage with one-handed weapons increased by 15% plus 0.1 per point of stamina, also unlocks decapitations. So, when you will have, let's say, 300 points of stamina, your power attack bonus from this perk will be in overall 45%. Look tasty, right? Overrun can perform a one-handed sprinting power attack that deals up to 50% more damage and critical damage to a target above half health. So, the higher its remaining health percentage of the target, the more damage it will receive. Disciplined Fighter reduces the stamina cost of power attacks with one-handed weapons by 15 points. Simple and clear. Thundering Blow. In combat, one-handed regular attacks build up charges. Upon reaching 8 charges, your next one-handed power attack expands all charges, dealing 100% more damage and costing 0 stamina. Aftershock improves Thundering Blow, increasing your attack speed by 75% for 3 seconds. And, well, we're finished with one-handed. In the next 2 minutes, video will demonstrate the rest of perks invested to secondary perk trees. All of them are pretty basic, so don't need deep clarification. These perks are not critical, so you can invest them as you wish, but for the best results, even the secondary perks matters. They were carefully chosen to reach maximum stability of this build. If you are not interested in them, just skip to 23 minutes to start watch next section of the guide. Now a few words about core spells. There are 4 core spells from Apocalypse mod and 2 spells type from Vanilla game. Your best friend for a silence is OK to Recital spell. It is really useful. It stores 3 chosen self-casted non-target and non-combat spells, long story short, the buffs, and then cast them for free when you enter the battle. First spell is a flash spell for bonus armor. Second one is called Divine Aegis. It negates 2 attacks against you during the first 30 seconds of the battle. It is especially useful in this build because, as you remember, one of the perks in light armor gives you bonuses when enemy power attack is not reaching you, and this spell helps a lot. Third one is just useful in overall, so I greatly recommend it. Soul Cloak is like a soul trap spell, but after cast it affects all enemies nearby. The core combat spell for stealth part of the game is Ghost Walk. It is really useful and fun at the same time. It gives you invisibility, but when invisibility is broken, it teleports you back to the place where you casted it. This so-called reverse teleport can be either useful and lifesaver as well as place you in the wide situation in combat. Just use it wisely. And of course you need some healing spells. Now about armors and weapons. If choose from artifacts, I would strongly recommend the Death Brand armor set. I will leave quest link in video description. Its benefits may be not noticeable at the first sight, but on practice, because of its unique set bonuses, it will give you more armor than Dragonborn light armor, and also 40% bonus damage to one-handed weapons, 60 bonus stamina and some carry weight. When or if you will be able to get or craft top tier unenchanted armor by yourself, you can experiment with enchantments on your own wish. Just keep in mind that you always need some boost to stamina and one-handed. The weapons. Remember I talked about amazing royal armor mod in the beginning of this video. It contains dozens of amazing weapons that you can get from Skyrim named NPCs. First dagger is Black Crow dagger that you can steal from Maven Blackbriar. It gives you both health and stamina drain and also paralyze your target. Second one is Dagger of Shelidor that you can get from Savos Aaron by stealing it from him or after he is killed during college quest. This item boosts your magicka and gives you magicka drain on attacks. When dual wielding these two, you will have great damage and able to absorb all three attributes from your enemies, as this is very important for survival in open combat, as well as makes good synergy with your perks. As an alternative to these weapons, you can use any top tier weapons, enchanted them on health and stamina absorb. I hope you did not think I will just tell this build is cool without a demonstration. In the next few minutes you can watch two battles. In first one, I will try to act more sneaky tricky, showing the stealthy part of combat, and in second one, I will fight in open combat to show Wind of Vengeance savage power and survival abilities. So that you are not confused, and to show how really strong this build is, let me explain. These combats were made with my current hardcore gameplay setup. That means all enemies level is scaled to mine, so yes, each bandit is level 80. They have access to all perks and spells from the same mods I am using. They can dodge, parry, have unique combat skills and abilities, and greatly improved AI and many other improvements. And, considering all these facts, Wind of Vengeance is able to kill them all in 1 vs all combat. There are so many ways to kill your enemies in stealthy way. Starting from Laughing Ghost, disappear just in front of their faces and make a deadly strike, explode 5 barrels under their feet, or just break the distance and go in with, then eliminating them one by one, not giving even a time to realize from where you are striking. While our Khajiit is showing the bandits who is the boss here, let me give you a few advices about how to invest the perks. At low level, when game sometimes is really hard, start investing into sneak. The main road of spending the perks is sneak and light armor first of all, as exactly these two trees will give you abilities to move stealthy and move fast, and your speed is the key to victory each time. After you invest with some perks in these two trees and have at least few core talents, you can start to invest in alchemy and one-handed. Don't focus on one-handed from the beginning, because due to sneak bonuses you will still have good damage, and due to light armor perks you can survive most of the battles, but with only one-handed perks, despite the great damage, you will lack tenacity and survival abilities. Open combat demonstration is the best showcase of this build speed and savagery, as well as importance of the speed itself. You are so fast that you are breaking the distance between you and enemies just in a moment. You can spend this time to heal or cut the distance to attack again. If you look to the top left corner of the screen, you can see non-stop appearing side effects that boosts almost each possible attribute and skill. With high critical rate, it is often enough to make only one power attack, an enemy is dead. Or, if you did not manage to get criticals, your attack speed allows you to make a whirlwind of bites, leaving enemy paralyzed and bleeding. Despite there are literally dozens of arrows, spells and melee attacks focused on our character, only few of them are reaching you. Some of them just can't be fast enough as your running speed, and some are dodged because of dodge rolls and evasive leaps. And when you finally receive damage, even from level 80 enemy, it is still not critical to you, and you can instantly heal it with potions, giving yourself massive steroid injection at the same time. And if you are out of stamina, you just need either or to drink potion or to make 1-2 strikes on your enemy and you are still full of energy. Your speed giving you so enormous advantage so that even fighting 5 enemies at once, you can dodge their attack, jump back, then instantly cut the distance, execute one of them with a single blow and dodge back again, didn't even get a single strike to you. Playing as Wind of Vengeance will make you feel deadly, tenacious and fast as flash of light at the same time, while this class playstyle itself is really fun and variative, as you always can switch between several combat tactics, mixing dirty stealth tricks with furious strikes and enormous speed. That's all for now, folks. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed. All needed mod links, as well as some other personal recommendations about useful mods for this build, are in video description. Feel free to ask me any question in comments if something was unclear. And of course feel free to suggest for what kind of character I should make a build next time. Be sure to enable channel notifications to not miss the new episodes. Thank you for your support and see you next time. Scimitar Gaming here, signing out.